kediaman ini begitu menonjol dengan reka bentuk kotak agam konkrit yang membenarkan pemilik kediaman untuk menanam pokok-pokok mereka. Kotak-kotak tanaman konkrit ini disusun dengan tidak simetri di setiap tingkat, menempatkan 40 jenis pokok yang boleh dimakan dan juga kelihatan seperti sebuah taman tergantung dan mencipta kontras visual berbanding dengan bangunan-bangunan lain di sekelilingnya. Menariknya, pokok-pokok ini bukan sekadar menjadi hiasan lanskap di kawasan kejiranan, malah mengeluarkan hasil buah-buahan dan sayuran sepanjang tahun sekaligus memberikan jawapan kepada sistem penanaman komersial di kawasan urban padat yang sentiasa mengalami masalah kekurangan lahan.
A joint project between the architect and the owners, Seamus and I
think it came from the original brief when we sat down with the architect at the beginning. We had maybe a list of 5 requirements on the house, one of which is that we wanted balconies that worked, that we could plant on. Didn't envisage quite what we had, that evolved. But it came from those first 5. It was about 5.
Yeah.
5 sort of criteria that we wanted in the house. We were really novices at growing things. We hadn't had much success in the house we had out in Bucadillo, and we tried planting various things with some limited success. So we went on a course in Pahang at the old pleasure gardens there. It was referred to as a permaculture course, to learn a bit more about designing and planting. And from that we gained the confidence to experiment. And Malaysia's very handy in terms of it grows all year round. In Europe, when we grew, which is our previous gardening experience, if you plant something, you plant all winter and then you plant in the spring, and then if it doesn't work in the summer, you have to pull it out and wait till next year. But in Malaysia, you can't be precious. If it's not working, take it out. The other aspect is I was originally a geologist, so I have a fair amount of knowledge on what soils and the difference between soils and growing in northern climates and growing in tropical climates. Now that was incorporated into the design of the planters. And it's taken a while, but we've managed to improve our soils to be sort of a hybrid between what would be a tropical soil, which tends to grow just on the surface, on the top. Everything dies, things grow on top of it, everything grows within the first few inches. One of the criterion is that we designed a watering system using the planter boxes that allows the water, we don't water on top, the rain will do that. And if you have too much rain, which is why tropical soils are the way they are, is that it compacts and washes out all the nutrients. So the planter box system works a bit like a Balinese rice field. The water goes from one field to the other, so the nutrients aren't lost. And at the bottom we have the banana planters in big planters, which are almost hydroponic. There's soil in there, there's actually logs and trees at the bottom of it, but it captures the water. So we capture a lot of water in the house. So we've just been away for 6 weeks, and everything's survived except the lettuce, which is the shallow rooted stuff. But the water's coming up from the bottom, which prevents the compaction of the clays into the soil, which creates a sort of a barrier for the soil. So it's a bit of a hybrid soil we've created, and we've changed it. The other thing is that you very quickly notice the soil dropping in levels. You think you filled it, and then a year later it's down, a year later, because everything decomposes very quickly here. So we've had to learn all that. Now, I've not seen this house covered in so many plants after being away for 6 weeks, or in 3 years. So we've experimented with things, we've lost things, but we've not been precious with them. This big vine up the back of the house here was cut back a year ago when it got infested. So we got rid of all of that, and within 6 months it was completely covered up 30 feet.
Saya juga dapat pengalaman yang segar, malah dan juga sungguh berbeza berbanding bangunan-bangunan yang lain.
Pada setiap episod, Casalokal akan memberi tips bagaimana untuk mengadaptasi projek seni bina mingguan ke dalam reka bentuk bangunan biasa. Berikut adalah tips-tips tersebut. Sekian saja episod Casalokal dengan konsep premium pada minggu ini. Kita akan mengembara dan bertemu kembali pada minggu depan. Saya, pengacara anda, Anita Pumatasari. Casalokal, seni bina mapan, inovasi masa depan.